What's neat? Is this on? Check 1, 2. I clicked it. Nothing? How about now? Yay. It was hot. So it was hot when I went pee. Nice. Real nice. Chris, you lied to me, brother. Thank you. Okay. Awesome. You know what's really cool about this is that what Jimmy was just talking about is when we started our Bible study together, it was 3 guys. 3 guys. B.O.L.D represented 3 guys at, was it Village Inn or Denny's?
Yeah, Village.
Village Inn. Sit around a booth. And one thing that really just impressed me about Jimmy and just made me go, wow, I want what this guy's got, is he would bring over the waitress and he would say to her, he would say, hey, we're about to pray for our food. What can I pray for you about? And nowhere have I ever been brought up to speak to the waitress and pray for them. Nowhere have I ever been brought up that somebody just reaches out to somebody they don't even know, like Dave was talking about. How can I pray for you today? What's going on in your world? And not even knowing if they're a Christian, not even knowing if they're going to throw food in his face, not knowing anything like that. And so, that is what really, that brought me to you, Jimmy, and asked you, the reason why I wanted you to be my mentor is because you're just bold. And I want to be like that. And I'm grateful for you. And we all need mentors, guys, in our lives. And that's not what the talk about today is. But I want to let you know I'm grateful to be here. I almost wasn't here. As a matter of fact, I was traveling for the last month. I was in the state of Alaska. I left on the 5th, and I just got back 2 days ago. And if you've been following the news at all, you'll know that in the lower 48, there's been some weather advisories, and there's been some cold fronts on the Gulf of the United States, and they canceled about 3,000 flights in 3 days, leaving almost everybody in the United States stranded or frustrated. And so my flight was one of those. And I was sitting at the airport, supposed to get on my flight, and I'm watching ding, 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 notification after notification. Your flight has been delayed. Your flight has been delayed. Your flight has been delayed. I'm great. I'm not going home. I haven't been home in almost a month. I miss my wife. I miss my dogs. I miss my bed. I just want to get home. And so finally, the final notification comes in. Your flight has been canceled. I'm like, great. Awesome. Nowhere to sleep. What am I going to do? Sleep in the airport? So I get on the phone with Alaska Airlines and I say, hey, what can you do? How can I get home? Can you reroute me somewhere else? No, I'm sorry. There's nothing that we can do. You got to think of something. There's got to be something. So she said, well, there's one thing we can do. We can fly you down. Now, I'm at the top of Florida, right in Pensacola on the Panhandle. I can fly you all the way down to Miami. You can sleep over in Miami in a hotel. And then from Miami, you'll have to fly all the way back up to Seattle, and then Seattle up to Anchorage. And I was like, okay, that's better than not getting home, right? So I decided to do that. I was blessed. I woke up one day with sunshine. Went out on the beach, spent a couple minutes out there, and I enjoyed my time. And then as I was getting onto the plane, I texted my wife and I said, good news, honey. I'm getting on the first plane. It looks like it's going to take off. Because there were lines of hundreds and hundreds of people in the complaint department trying to get rebooked. And if you can imagine what that's like, all the frustration that's happening at the airport, trying to get rebooked, not knowing if they're going to make it to the funeral, to the wedding, to whatever the case, whatever's going on in their life was being shut down. And she said, well, that's good news, honey, but I got bad news for you. We got 1.5 feet of snow, and your plow truck has a flat tire, and it's buried in snow, and I can't get it to start. I'm like, okay, great, awesome. So I'm coming, after 2 days of travel, I'm gonna get home, and the next day is men's group, our Bible study. So I'm gonna have about 2 hours of sleep. So I get home at 3 o'clock in the morning, I go to bed, 5 o'clock I wake up, and I go to our men's breakfast. After that, I hustle back home, after I'm done digging out the truck, deliriously tired, fix the flat, get it to start, spend 4 hours plowing the property. I am so tired. All I want to do is go to sleep, but I don't. Since I've been gone for a month, I have all these errands that I have to run. So I go and run my errands, drop my computer off at Best Buy, so on and so forth, and I'm on my way home, and all I'm thinking is sleep, 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 sleep. And on my way home, I see this car that's sticking out into traffic, and it's stuck. It's obviously stuck. It's like half in and half out. And you could see what happened was the snow plow created a berm, and there was this lady with this very low center of gravity car, and she was stuck. And there was this young man trying to help her out, and he was by himself, and obviously he couldn't do it. And so I pulled over, I was like, hey guys, can I help? And he was like, yeah, she's stuck really good. I was like, okay, cool. So I jump out of the car, and I told her what to do. We're gonna drive straight. She's in the driver's seat. Young man's next to me. We're at the tail end of her car, and we both push, and we're like, oh, this thing is stuck. It is stuck. And so I looked at him, and I was like, okay, let's start rocking it, right? And so we start rocking it back and forth, and back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and slowly you start to feel the tires give a little bit. And then we're moving a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And then finally, there it is. It broke free. She guns it. Gets stuck. Again, right? She's got bald tires. She was ill-equipped for what she was trying to do. She should have never been out in that kind of weather with the way she was driving her car. And so she guns it, gets stuck. Long story short, we pull her back. We do it again. We push all the way through, and I tell her, do not stop. Do not stop. And so we take all that momentum from pushing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Get her through it. She takes off. She doesn't even stop. She just waves her hand out, thank you, takes off, and I don't blame her. I wouldn't have stopped either because she was definitely going to get stuck again. And I didn't want to stick around to be the guy pushing her out again. So anyway, she took off. But the reason why I tell that story is because what I want to talk to you guys about today is being stuck. Being stuck in life and being stuck in your own prison. And I can tell you firsthand, I've been that guy. If you know my story, I come from a very rough past. I grew up in Buffalo, New York. We grew up in a poverty, financial situation. We had a poverty mindset. And we were always broke. We were always living hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck. It was constant. The word around my house was, we're broke. We can't because we're broke. We're broke. We're broke. So I always knew what broke was. Anybody here was raised like that as well? Quite a few of you guys. So I was always worried about money. Money was a big issue to me. And it's kind of like a curse sometimes. Ever since the age of 5 years old is when I started my first business. I didn't realize it, but I did. The paper lady who delivered the Buffalo Evening News used to come over and rent my radio flyer wagon for 50 cents. Because the papers the newspapers were like that thick, with all the inserts and coupons and all the stuff, and they were like probably 15 pounds a piece. And she had a paper out of 150 plus around the neighborhood, and there was no way she was going to carry those. So she would rent my wagon for me every weekend for 50 cents. So that was my first business. Carrying on from there, every chance I got, when the snow fell, I was shoveling driveways. When there was leaves, I was raking. When the lawn was growing, I was cutting lawns. It didn't matter. If I could possibly make money, that's what I was doing. And a lot of times I felt really proud of myself because I would take money home, I'd give it to my mom, I would help pay for groceries, I would help pay for rent, or whatever the case. I would usually give her half of my money. I never thought about tithing because we just never grew up that way. But that was my main focus. And that was me trying to never have to be in that poverty mindset that we grew up in. I even tried my hand at selling weed. Doesn't help when you smoke all the profit. I don't do that no more, but I'm just letting you know it wasn't very profitable. So all the jobs that I've ever taken on in my life were around sales. And the reason why is because if you notice in a sales position, nobody can tell you how much money you can make. Nobody can tell you what your glass ceiling is. No one can tell you what you're limited with in your life. And I sought out those jobs because I didn't want to be limited by somebody else. I didn't want somebody to tell me who I could be and what the financial status of my family had to be. So we started quite a few businesses. Jimmy was telling you that I'm an entrepreneur. I'm what they call a serial entrepreneur, and sometimes it's a curse. I constantly see things and go, ooh, I want to start a business. Let me go do that. So when I met my wife, she owned a housekeeping business. So I opened up a carpet cleaning business to pair with her business. Then I opened up a detail shop. Then we opened an answering service, a 24-hour answering service. That lasted about 2 weeks. I don't want another 24-hour business. And then going through all of our businesses, I was an energy rater for the state of Alaska. Then we opened up a food truck. I don't know if anybody here has ever seen it. Main Event. It was this big, giant, 36-foot long converted motorhome into a food truck. I built that thing in my driveway for 6 months. And I am the reason why in Bayshore, food trucks are not allowed. So, you're welcome. From there, we started a restaurant. Then we opened up we have 2 booths at the fair, the Loaded Bar and Alaska Noli. From there, we opened up a second restaurant. And now, we're investing in real estate throughout the lower 48. I don't say that to flex. That's not what the purpose is. What I'm saying is, I was brought up in a certain way, and I made a guarantee and a promise to myself that I would never allow my family to go through what I went through. I would never allow them to see what poverty was. I would never force them to be called scumbag by the kids in junior high because you only had 3 pairs of pants and most of them had holes and they were rarely clean. I was never going to allow my kids to see that. So now my wife and I, we get to travel the world. I don't want to say the world, but the United States. And we teach people how to start businesses. We teach people not just how to start them, but how to keep them. We teach them about finances. We teach them about standard operating procedures. We teach them about the struggles and profitability that a business has to have. And we basically just teach them how to keep a business. Most people start a business and fail. And the reason is because they have no idea how to run it. When we started our food truck, we were really good cooks. We had no idea how to run a business. As far as a restaurant, we had no idea what profitability was. We had no idea what it was supposed to be. So we were on our way to failure until things turned around for us. And so what I want to show you guys is something that I have a passion for. And when I get to teach this is what really lights me up. Is vision. Vision is probably one of the most important things that you can have in a business, because if you don't have it, it's probably going to fail. So there's 6 types of vision. Now, I'm writing a book right now. It's called Poor Choices, and it's a lot to do with my life, and it's a lot to do with all of the decisions that I made that I never should have. But really, it's about many other people like me who have a poverty mindset, and they live their lives, and they make decisions based on that poverty mindset. Okay, so in my book, I'm showing 6 different visions that somebody can have. There's a tiny little box here. I know it's really small, but I don't have a lot of space. But what I want you to picture is there's a guy in a box. Have you ever heard the phrase that you're stuck in a box, right? Your 4 walls around you and you just can't see anything. What I want you to imagine is you're in this box and it's all the way up to your head and you can't see anything around you. And there's lions and tigers and demons and everything jumping into the box to fight you. All you can do is be ready and fearful and waiting. You have no idea. You have zero vision. You can't see outside of the box, right? All you could see is what's happening in that box. This is a guy who's probably living hand to mouth, right? He has no planning. He has nothing, no infrastructure in place, zero. Then there's a guy who's inside the box, but he's managed to poke his head out. And he can see what's coming. He has a better fighting chance. The demons that are jumping into this box with him to fight him, he can get ready. Then there's a guy who got outside of the box. And he's got his back up against the wall of the box, and he's got a fighting chance. He can see everything coming at him, and he can fight what's coming at him. He's not like this guy who can't see, who lives in fear his entire life. Then, we've got a guy who left the box, and he sees a mountain ahead of him. This guy is fighting battles on the way to the mountain. Everybody see that okay? Yeah. Then we got the guy who made it to the top of the mountain. This guy can see all the way around him. He can see thousands of feet. He can see up to the next mountain. He can't see past the mountain, but he can see everything that's happening, and he's no longer fighting on the ground because he's on top of the mountain. Then we have, and draw a really poor airplane here, or a helicopter. This is what we call a 10,000-foot view. So somebody who can see all around the perimeter, and they can see well above this mountain. And what I'm trying to give you the picture of is a vision, right? And what kind of vision do you want to have in your life? Do you want to be this guy here? Do you want to live in fear your entire life? Do you want to have no plan of action when you're getting attacked? Then there's a guy who has a satellite view. And that guy can see almost the entire world. This guy is the guy, let's just say, for example, Elon Musk, just for example. That's a satellite vision kind of guy. That's somebody who knows business really well. That's somebody who can see anything coming because he's put the infrastructure in place. He understands what's coming at him. The last vision on top of that, guys, is the guy who's got the world in his hand. I don't know about you. How cool would it be to have that vision? To know what's coming? I don't know if I'd want it. But to be able to speak that world into existence with his word, man, how cool would that be? How cool would it be that you could be in charge, the author, the producer, the director of your life, and you could be creating your own life by what you speak into existence. That's vision. That's real vision. And let me tell you, it's your responsibility to have that vision. It is definitely your responsibility. It is your responsibility to never take your family here. It is your responsibility to make sure you can see when the fight is coming. That's why we're here, guys. This is bold. We're here to see the fight coming. I do believe that everything is a choice. I believe that if you want to live a life of wealth, and I'm not saying this is a discussion on money, because I don't want people to think I'm a greedy guy, because I'm not. But I know where I want to live, and I know where I don't want to live. And I can tell you this, it's hard both ways. You want to live in poverty? It's going to be really hard. You want to live wealthy? It's going to be really hard. Choose your heart. Which way do you want to go, right? It's going to take the same amount of energy. Choose your heart. So the question I have for you is, what would your life be like if you had the satellite view? I'm going to ask you a question. I love this question. This is the rocking chair question. It's not mine, but I just love it. And I want you guys to sit here and I want you to think about yourselves with your wives. And you're at the end of life, and the average man lives to 76 years old, by the way. The average woman lives to 81 years old. So some of us, you're on borrowed time. Some of us only have a few years left. Some of us have 40, 50 years before that happens. But what I want you to do is I want you to picture you're at the end of life and you're on your rocking chair with your wife and you reach over to her and you grab her hand and you guys are rocking in your chairs and you say, "Baby, we made it. We made it. We did exactly everything that we wanted to do. We lived the lives that we wanted to live. Our kids are followers of God. We have this amount of property. We've done this many things. We've traveled the world. We've done all of this stuff. We made it." I want you to ask that question to yourself right now, and I want you just to take a minute. What does it look like? Think about this to yourself. It's a very important question. You know how many people I come across every day, and I try and teach them about retirement and money, and I ask them, "Hey, do you know how much money you need to retire?" "No, I have no clue." "Okay, don't you think that's important? Because let's talk about it. The average man lives to 76 years old. You're 50 years old. You got 26 years left. Last 10 years of your life, you're going to probably be in pain. I would assume, I hope, I'm not, but I would assume you're probably going to be in pain. You're probably going to be in some kind of care assistance. You're probably going to be needing medical care of some sort. It's going to be very expensive. It's probably going to cost you 3 times as much it is right now. Inflation is going to raise 5% every single year. Have you factored that in? Have you figured out where you need to be for your family? How to leave your family legacy the way that you want it? Or are you just going to ride the wave and say, "I'll figure it out when I get there"? That's most of us. Most of us in this room. That's the way I lived my entire life. So I'll figure it out when I get there. What I want to say to you guys, and what I really want to impose on you, is you have to have a vision. You have to have a plan, and you have to have a strategy. Now, I'm going to see if I can... Good. All right. Awesome. All right. So a couple things that I want to talk about is habits and patterns. These are the things that shape us. These are the things that give us identity. These are the things that we're known as when certain things happen. So this is a habit. Well, first of all, I want to talk about what happens during your day. We all have habits. Every single one of us, we have our own habits. So mine are this. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I touch my phone just to see what time it is, to see if I'm late, whatever the case, and I force myself to pray. God, thank you for today. God, please allow me to touch the lives of the people that I'm going to come in contact with today. And I pray, and I try and pray for at least 4 or 5 minutes before I grab my phone. Because I know as soon as I grab my phone, life takes over, right? I'm going to get notification after notification. I missed this text. Hey, who liked what I posted last night? Who canceled me or is unfollowing me or who's following me now or whatever the case. That kind of thing takes over. And then you get up and you go to the bathroom and you brush your teeth and you make your coffee, and you do it the same way every single day. You get in your car, you drive to work, the same that you do every single day. You come home, the same that you do every single day. And this is a habit. This is something that you've created, okay? And I want to show you how a habit works. So this is a habit cycle. So an event happens. And your brain automatically triggers, am I safe? When something happens. Am I safe? Should I be in fight or flight? What's happening? Is this good or bad? It determines this is bad, just for example. And what happens is then it immediately injects a chemical into your brain. Dopamine, adrenaline, whatever the case, whatever's happening. So if it's a scary thing, probably adrenaline, right? Get up, gives you the energy, get up and move. So you get the chemical dump. Everybody see that? Okay? It injects it into your body. Your body reacts based on that chemical that was just dumped. And then, this is all happening, by the way, on the subconscious side of your brain. You don't even really think about it. These are things that just are normally happening. And then what happens here is you develop BS. This is your belief system. Okay? What the belief system means is basically saying that when this happens, I don't like it. Right? And when this happens, this is what I do. This is the action that I take. And so now your identity, if I spelled it right, is when this thing happens, this is what I do, and this is who I am. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. So, now I want you to think about a fire drill. If a fire drill went off right now, what would happen? We would all get up, we would look around, we would say, okay, where's the fire? We'd smell for smoke, whatever the case, and like, okay, well, I guess we got to start walking outside. Why? How do we know how to do that? Because when we were young and when we were in grade school, they would teach us that once a week, once a month, whatever the case. And they would teach us, okay, we want you to be in single file and don't run. We're walking slowly out the door and we're going to go to that side of the parking lot. That's where safety is. Why do they do that? Why? Because they want us to understand how to do this normally, basically a habit. They want to create a habit in us. The same thing. Anybody here ever fight, box, anything like that, spar? Okay. Stand up. Yes, sir. What do you fight? MMA? Awesome. I love that. Okay. Would you ever go into a ring without training? Why not? You're not prepared. 100% right. Right answer. You're going to get your butt handed to you. You're not going to be in shape. You're not going to know how to take a punch. You're not going to know how to dodge a punch. You're not going to know how to react in a situation, right? So you have to go through training. And this is called a pattern. When you do something over and over and over and over again, it's a habit pattern in your life. So the question that I have for you is, what kind of patterns are you developing for yourself? We have good habits. We have bad habits. We have temporary habits. Anybody ever do dry January? You can admit it. We're not all Baptists here. We can admit it. Okay, so I used to try dry January, and the struggle with it was with dry January, and to those of you who really don't drink, basically what it is it said you're gonna stop drinking for the entire month of January. The struggle with it is, with dry January, is it's temporary. It's not permanent. It's nothing that you're going to continue through your life. So why bother? So last year I did dry January and I made it to the 12th. And then I was like, it don't matter. Because on the 1st, I'm going to be drinking anyway. So it doesn't matter, right? So dry January is one of those temporary habits. So is fasting for maybe to reset your digestive tract. It's just temporary. You're going to eat again, so it's a temporary thing. And then we have auto-programmed habits. We all start our way the same day, like I was telling you about, how we start our day. And we all draw from our chemical drugstore. And that's the reason why we continue to do the same things over and over again in our subconscious. Now, last thing I want to tell you is, and the reason why I wanted to tell you this is because I turned 50 on May 17th, 2024. And I hated the way that I looked. I was 76 pounds heavier than I am right now. I was fat, overweight. I had high this, high that, low this. My doctor was saying, you're probably going to have a heart attack if you continue the way you're going. And so I turned 50, and it was kind of like that day. It was like, man, I'm sick of this. I don't want to live the rest of my life like this. I'm tired of this. And I used to tell myself, well, in that habit, I guess I'm just a fat guy. Guess I'm always going to be fat. That's just the way I am. I got tired of it. And I told myself, I want to do a challenge for myself to see if I can do it. And I started this 90-day workout challenge. And I just wanted to hit 90 days. That's it. And what I was going to do was I was going to work out every single day for 30 minutes a day. It didn't matter what it was. If I was hiking with my wife, or if I was pushing weights, or if I was playing racquetball with Jimmy, or any of those things. 30 minutes a day, every single day. So what I did was I went online, because I knew it was a temporary thing for me. So I went online, and I went onto Facebook, and took my shirt off. Very vulnerable. Big old jelly belly hanging out. I still got a little to go, but it's much better than it was. And I said, guys, I want you to hold me to it. I'm going to do a 90-day challenge. I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm going to see if I can work out every single day. The only reason want to know why I did that? Is because I knew that was the accountability I needed. Because all of my followers, all of my friends, all the people I was following, and my family, if they saw me do that and quit, exactly, I would be shamed. And I knew that I had to have some accountability in my life more than just my partner in crime, who is my wife, when we're eating ice cream on the couch with each other. So I knew that I had to do it. And so I started this 90-day deal. And about day 15, I was posting every day. I was like, hey, I'm at the gym again, and I'm online and, on Facebook, and day 1 in the bank, day 2 in the bank, day 15 on the bank. Hey, who wants to come with me? Who wants to do it? No responses. They're all like, yeah, thumbs up. Good job. Yay. Nobody wanted to do it with me. You want to know why? Because nobody believed me. Nobody believed that I was going to do it. So I get to day 30. Day 30 in the bank. Who's coming with me? Hey, good job. Get a couple more comments. But nobody's coming with me. Day 45 hits, and something changed. I was like, I think I could do this. I don't think I'm going to quit on myself. But as these days got closer to 60, it started to get harder and harder because I was starting to travel more. And I had to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym. I had to, just before my flight, if I had a 5 a.m. flight, I knew that I was going to have to go to the gym because the amount of travel that I was going to have to do, I would have never made it. I would have never made my schedule for that day. So it was getting harder and harder. But somewhere around this point, I told myself, I am not going to let myself down. I have done this so far. I've come all the way through this. There's no way I will do hell or high water. I am not going to let myself down. When I got to day 90, I was so proud of myself. And something changed and something unlocked inside of me. And this is what I want you guys to realize. Something unlocked and told me, you can do anything. There's really not much you can't do. And what I did, and I didn't know it, but I did something called a micro habit. And that's changing one thing about yourself every day. Do one small thing every single day. After day 90, I thought to myself, how cool would it be if I did 180 days? How cool would that be? And I'll call it the 180. I did a 180. Look, everybody, I did a 180. So I did it. Did a 180. And when I got to my first year, never missing a day of working out, 365 days, I was so stinking proud of myself. That's when I knew there's nothing in this world I can't accomplish. There's nothing that I can't accomplish because I made it 365 days and I worked out every single day of my life. And I didn't quit. And you know how many people say, oh, you have to have rest days. You don't have to have rest days. Just work a different muscle. Do something different. You don't need rest days. So I get to 365 days, and my wife pulls me aside, and she says, honey, I want you to know I'm so proud of you. I want to go with you to the gym today and film this small little documentary with you. I want to film you working out, and I want to post how proud I am of you. And that really meant a lot to me. So we did. And she filmed it and she posted it. And at the end of the day, when we went home, she goes, I want to start this challenge too. She said, I saw you do it, and I think I can do it too. So she did. Today, she's on day 260. Because she saw me doing it. Because she saw that somebody else was leading the path. Somebody else was trailblazing and showing that it was actually possible to do it. Today I'm on day 625. And I'm very proud of myself. But here's the question I want you to ask yourself. When you're going to set a challenge for yourself, this is what I love when I get to talk to newbies in the fields that I'm in, and I'm trying to teach them about possibilities, there's a few questions you need to ask yourself. Has it been done before? Has anybody ever done it before? Has anybody ever done the thing that you want to do? Name one thing you want to do.
Put my wife first.
Do what?
Put my wife first.
Put your wife first. Has anybody ever done it before? Okay. Here's the next question.
It's hard to do.
It's hard. You're right. Because we are selfish people. Every single one of us. Can it be done?
Can it be done?
Can you do it?
It's not easy, though.
Can you do it?
I can do it, but it's not easy.
But you can do it. It's been done, and you can do it. What does it take for it to be true?
I don't know. I mean, I put her first. Sometimes she's very difficult, but I love her very much. She loves the Lord.
I think she was talking to my wife. That's a really good example and a very hard example to talk about. I wanted somebody to say about money or something. I didn't say the impossible.
I mean, we live in that world where there's no money or a bunch of money, you know what I mean? Sometimes that's all that.
I feel you, brother. That's the question I want you to ask yourself. If you've got a big goal in your life, can it be done? Has anybody in the world ever done this before? Have you ever seen it done by anybody? If the answer is yes, then you have to answer the question, can I do it? Am I capable? Did God give me the body and the skills to be able to do it? Can I accomplish this? Can I be a brain surgeon? Yes, I can. If I go to school, I can. Do I want to? No. But can I? Yes, I can do it. Okay, what needs to happen in order for this to be true in your life? Super important questions. Can I do it? Has anybody else done it? Am I capable? What needs to be true? This is a pattern interrupt in your life. When you're doing a micro habit, you're interrupting your normal pattern. I'm normally a fat guy, right? I interrupted that pattern that I was normally used to. And you do that through micro habits. You do one small thing every day. You want to eat healthier? Add vegetables to your lunch. Don't say I'm going to eat only healthy meals, because you're going to fail. Okay? Add one vegetable. Easy things that you can do. Micro changes in your life. Do small things. It's momentum that we're looking for. Remember when I was talking to you about that lady's car and we were pushing and those tires started to turn, but it took all of that energy back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and eventually those wheels started to turn, but it took a lot of tries and it took a lot of energy. It didn't happen on the first push. Guys, don't set a goal for yourself that you can't accomplish. Because once you experience failure, and by the way, to me, failure means you quit. Doesn't mean it didn't work. It means you quit. You gave up. Once you experience and you give up, you're going to start to develop a pattern in your life. I quit. No, that's too hard. I quit. Do micro things in your life. Growth is not random. It's designed and planned. We are the directors and the producers of our lives. Every single one of us. You're writing the story right now. You're living the story that you wrote. But you can change it. You can change it if you don't like where you live. You can change it. You can change your address. You can change your body mass. You can change your financial situation. You can change your relationship with God right now. If you've been living a life away from God, you can change that right now. If you've been cheating on your wife, you can change that right now. If you have a porn addiction, you can change that right now. But it's going to take micro changes. You're going to have to start to add different habits. You're going to have to implement different pattern interrupts in your life. I want you guys to write down, grab your pads or paper and your pens. And I'm going to close with this. There's 3 things that you can change in your life. Your faith, your family, and your finances. What would they be? What would you do? Please write that down right now. Your faith, your family, and your finances. What would you change in your life right now? Let me give you a second. If you had a magic wand and you could make it all happen, what would it be? Now I want to ask those important questions. Has anybody ever done it before?
Ask the pastor.
Pardon me?
Ask the pastor.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry. Has anybody ever done it before? Answer the question on your paper. Yes or no? Am I capable? Write it down. Yes or no? Yes, you are. The strength that you have, you're 100% right, but the strength that you have is borrowed strength. He can give you the strength to do what you have to do. Can it be done? Has anybody else done it? And am I capable? And now what do I have to do to make it happen? The very last thing I want to leave you guys with, and then I'm closing, is remember when I said that I did my 90-day challenge? I had accountability. The accountability is when I went onto Facebook and I said, I took my shirt off. Here it is. I'm vulnerable. I'm putting it all out there. I want people to see because I need accountability. Everybody in this room right now, what I want you to do before I close, I want you to pick somebody at the table to be your accountability partner for those things that you just wrote down. I want you to get their phone number, and I want you to commit to each other that you're going to call each other once a week and talk to each other about the goals that you just wrote down. Guys, we're not here to talk the talk. We're here to take action in our lives. And sometimes action is imperfect. It doesn't always look pretty. It doesn't always look good. We're here to take serious, imperfect action in our lives. Does everybody have a partner? I mean it, guys. This is one of those things. Are you going to do the thing, or are you just going to talk about doing the thing? Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for letting me speak today. It's been a pleasure.
If you're a man residing in the Anchorage, Alaska area seeking solid biblical teachings and genuine biblical brotherhood, we invite you to join us on Tuesday evenings from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. We're located in the Student Union of Mountain City Church. If you'd like to contact us and find out more information, please email us at men@mountaincity.church.